If you're looking to buy a hunting blind, this video is definitely going to be for you, because today's video we're going to be unboxing the 270-degree Tidewe blind and I'm brushing it in, making it go invisible. So without further ado, let's get into it. So before we get to unboxing this blind, I do want to give you guys a couple of tips if you're looking to buy a blind. First and foremost, I always like to tell you guys, try to buy physically the biggest blind that you can. I'm a big guy, I'm 6'4", and I have a long draw length, so if you're a long draw length shooter, sorry, sometimes words are hard to say. If you're a long draw length shooter, you're extended out. So I like to buy those bigger blinds so I have more room to work with. And typically I'm not hunting in a blind by myself. I usually have 1 to even 2 more people with me, whether I'm hunting with my brother or just a friend or someone. I like a bigger blind, more room, you can set your backpack down, and it's also quite a bit quieter because, you know, you're not bumping into the side of walls and everything. That's just one little tip I wanted to give you guys, is try to buy a bigger blind that you can. The bigger the better, I kind of like to say. And then another tip is, when you're using a blind, where is that going to shine at? One, always have it facing west or directly out of the sun, because when you're setting up a blind, you know, that sun shines in, your face reflects, so always have it facing away from the sun. Or if you're going to be hunting out of it, or you have to have it facing to where the sun rises or sets, just make sure you have blockage in front of you, maybe some tree covers or some canopy covers, and brushing it in is really going to help with that too. And I'll show you guys how to do that, because we're going to make this blind almost disappear. I'm going to show you guys everything you need to do in order to making it disappear and make yourself blend in when you're actually in the blind. And another thing also where blinds really shine in is bedding areas, or during the rut when you just have to have a quick pop-up blind. That's why they're called pop-up blinds, because you don't have to put them together like a tent. You're just pulling out those hubs, popping the blind up, and you're very mobile. And if you need to make that adjustment at any time during the day at any given point, you can do that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and unbox this blind. So, oh god. So Tidewe sent me this blind and some camouflage, but we'll get onto the camouflage later in this video. But Tidewe sent me this blind, and we're going to go ahead and open it up and take a look at it. I've heard of Tidewe, the company, before quite a few times, and this is going to be the first time that I've actually got to see any of their products in person. I know that they make pretty good waders from what I've seen, just from people that I know that have them, so I actually have high expectations for their products. So without further ado, let's unbox this bad boy and see what happens. I'm pretty excited about it. And they sent it to me, they reached out to me like last week, and they got it out to me very fast. So that's a lot of, what's credibility, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Good on them. They sent it to me within less than a week. I think it was only like 3 days and it was at my door. They wanted me to get this out so you guys can have a look at what they're going to be like for the 2024. I have like a gnat or something flying on me. So you guys can have a look at it for the 2024, 2025 bow hunting season, deer hunting season, whatever you want to call it. But let's go ahead and unbox it. Don't need that right now. It's actually fairly light. Looks like it has this looks like it's like waterproof for the case, so you don't get like your blind all moldy. Has the Tidewe logo there. Tidewe logo. Awesome. Backpack straps, I like that a lot. I don't know why these companies are doing this one strap type deal where you're like having to like sling it over like a gun, but I like backpack straps more. I feel more mobile, so you can put this on your back. Yeah, I like that quite a bit. Backpack straps. I can't even hardly feel this thing on my back. I know I'm just absolutely muscular, but that has nothing to do with it. This blind is actually very light. I've had a lot of other blinds. I've hunted out of a lot of blinds. So first off, pretty good idea. Let's take a look at this bad boy. Comes with a drawstring case for easy removal. Oh. What am I going to put this so this bag doesn't blow away? We're going to put this. Give me 1 second. We're going to figure out what I can do with this so this bag doesn't blow away. Alright, so when you look at this blind, it looks like it comes with a belt buckle right here, or like a buckle, like a clip buckle. I like that for one reason and one reason only. If you guys have ever tried to take a blind and put it in a bag after you've used it, usually it's wet, it's muddy, and you're just slipping, sliding, trying to get it back into the bag. To tighten this down to make that profile smaller, especially if you're doing it by yourself, putting this blind away, that's going to be a big help. So I'm pretty excited about that, because that's going to make it a lot easier to get in the bag and get out of the way, and you know, get it back to the truck or wherever you're going. So let's open this bad boy up and pop it up for you guys. So pretty easy, opens right on up. I'll bring it back out here so you guys can see it a little bit more. Let me adjust my camera angle. We're gonna set this Tidewe blind up that they sent me. We're gonna set it up super fast. I'm gonna show you guys how easy it is, so let's do it. Pull these hubs out, get everything all flattened out. Don't lose your stakes, that's kind of important. One. Two. Three. 4, 5. That's how easy it is to set up a pop-up blind. This is the Tidewe blind with the see-through mesh. Let's go ahead and hop on the inside. I'm pretty excited to show you guys this, so let's do it. I actually have set up the blind. I actually have it set up over in the food plot that we have here. And it's kind of got me thinking, if you guys want to see me shoot a deer at this spot with this blind, in the season for bow season, obviously, let me know. I might actually do that because that'd be kind of cool. You guys can probably see somewhere, there's my house right there, you guys can see that. But here's the blind, and I'll show you guys some cool features that I kind of first picked out about it. First and foremost, it has this see-through mesh, so if you guys can look, I can't see into the blind, but if you were to be in the blind, you could see out of the blind, and I'll show you what I mean by that when we actually hop inside. I just want to go over a couple cool features that I noticed right off the bat that, you know, some companies aren't doing this anymore, and I don't know why. But first and foremost, look at these right here. You guys see these straps? I got you a little bit too close. You guys can see these straps right here. That's actually so you can put brush into your blind. Now these blinds, let me get better lighting here. These blinds that they're square, they're not really, I mean, they have really good, I mean, this blind has really good camo on it, but it's square, so it's going to kind of stand out. And what you can do is you can add brush to these to make these blend in a lot more with the surrounding that you're putting them in. So, you know, if you're having habitat like right now, it's really green right now, you can make this blend in really green wherever you're at. Maybe you're hunting in some states that, you know, season opens in very late August or early September, you still have a lot of green on the ground. Not up, you know, hardly anything has changed to those browns and those dull grays and stuff like that, you know, in the later fall. But you can make these blend into any sort of surrounding that you have with the timber around you and the foliage and everything. And I'll show you guys how to do that because I think that's really important that not a lot of people do anymore. But I just wanted to show you guys that. So let's go ahead and hop inside the blind and I'll show you guys what else is pretty cool about this bad boy. So we're actually inside the blind right now, and I think this is pretty cool because if you look behind me, this is all blackout, and I like that a lot for two reasons. One, this is going to shine a lot for turkey season. I like that a lot because, you know, typically when you're turkey hunting and you're doing stuff like that, you're wearing black when you're in a blind so you can blend in, you know, less of an outline and less movement that those birds can pick up on when you're trying to draw your bow, pick up your gun, or whatever you're doing when you're hunting out of a blind. And I also like that because, one, it just cuts down the overall light inside. So if you have light all the way around you, you know, all of these were like to be opened up. This back, blacked out back here is going to make it really dark, so you're just not going to get picked off that easily, excuse me. But I just think it's pretty cool because, you know, whatever. I mean, you can just do whatever you want in this blind. Another thing is, I'm 6'4". I don't know how many guys, I'm reaching way back over there, and I still have like another foot onto the side of my hand. This is a big blind, and I like that a lot because I could draw my bow. Like I have you guys fully extended, and I'm, as if I were holding my bow, and I still have plenty of room. I'd have to be way back there to do that, and I have plenty of room to my left. So if there wanted to be like a cameraman or another person hunting here, I mean, you guys can see the floor plan too. I mean, and I'm sitting on a blind chair, and those blind chairs, as you guys know, they're not always that small, so that's pretty cool. But I'll show you guys this see-through mesh that I was talking about. So you guys could see when I was, you know, on the outside of the blind, I couldn't see in, but when I'm on the inside of the blind, I can see out. So what I mean by that, and I'll show you guys can see, I can see everything out there. And that's a huge advantage because when I started hunting, none of this type of technology was around. Like you couldn't see out there, like, or you couldn't see in but out. So I like that a lot because, you know, you can keep a lot of windows and doors closed. I think that's pretty cool because, you know, the less light and the less movement that those deer can catch, and the more that you can see them without making any movement, is huge. And I could be dang near doing a full-blown square dance in here and nothing could be able to see me because I have this one-way see-through mesh. A lot of blinds are going to that nowadays, but Tidewe has it really, you know, really figured out with their window system, and I'll get on to show you guys that window system that I'm a big fan of. I'm very impressed with this blind, actually. I didn't have any expectations because I'd never seen one, but now that I actually have one in front of my hand and I'm actually getting to be able to use it, and I'll be able to use it for this hunting season to show you guys, I think I'm going to have a lot of enjoyment and a lot of hunts out of this blind this coming fall, and more importantly the early season, maybe even here in my house. So let me know if you guys want to see that down in the comments. But let's take a look at the windows. I definitely want to show you guys how these windows look and how they operate, because I think it's something that's kind of unique. You don't really see people do these, you know, kind of designs. You see Velcro, you see snaps. These actually have silent slides, and when they say silent, they mean silent. So I'm going to flip you guys around, show you guys this window design that they've done here at Tidewe, and just kind of get a look at it because it's pretty cool. So the front window has one giant panel, and then it has two side panels, so you can see that side panel, and then you can see that side panel. I kind of have it opened up a little bit. But if you look, these have these little slides right here, and you can just adjust these. See how that panel closes up, and it also has a little Velcro, or not Velcro, a little snap hook right here. I can't get it one-handed, but it closes right there. But that's pretty cool. But the main window, you can make so many adjustments with these. So you see that's kind of a V shape. You also notice how it kind of tapers down lower there. That's going to be very crucial and very important for us bow hunters out there, because if anybody knows, and I've learned it the hard way, especially on turkeys, unfortunately, when you draw back and you shoot through a blind, sometimes when you're aiming, you get a little bit of tunnel vision, I guess is the best way to put it, and you put your sight right on that deer, right on that turkey, whatever you're trying to shoot with your bow, and you don't realize that, that your arrow is going to shoot straight to the side of the blind. I've done it on some other blinds, and they kind of have done, you know, a little bit more of design technique in order to kind of mitigate that problem from happening. That way your arrow actually clears the blind and goes out towards your target. So it's pretty cool. They have the silent snaps, or silent slides, excuse me. You look here, that slides up. I don't have the blind anchored down yet, and I'll show you guys the cool anchor system that they have down there. But if you look now, completely see-through, but I actually have this all closed up. I can see out, they can't see in. So it has 1, 2, 3 panels, 2 side doors that you can adjust. So if you need to make this lower, you can. See, look, we have that lowered. So now, and I can raise these up too if I have clearance issues. Now you can see I can shoot all through out there to my left. If I had a deer coming from this way, I can, plenty of clearance. I'm holding my bow, plenty of room to be shooting around right here. That's all good. If I were to open these up, I would, and then the same thing on this side, same thing applies. I don't know why some of these blind companies are kind of cutting corners. I'm not going to throw out any names, but there's some more reputable blinds out there that I know are, you know, 3, 4, 5 times the price of this. I think this blind goes for $2.99. I'll leave a caption somewhere over this video so you guys can see exactly how much this is going for. Everything that is in today's video, I'm going to link down below, the first link from Tidewe, so you guys can definitely go check that out. I'd appreciate it, because they, you know, they sent me all of this on their dime. I didn't pay a single dime for it, and they wanted me to show it to you guys, and I'm going to get a lot of value out of this stuff, especially the blind. The camo, I'll show you guys the camo at the end of the video, so stick around for that. But let's go around to the outside and look at some features. So what we're going to do, you guys can see the blind behind me. We're going to brush this in so you guys can see how it looks now, and I'll give you guys kind of just overview of what it looks like right now. It has a great camo on it already, but we're going to make it to where it pretty much just disappears. So I'll show you guys everything, and then we're going to go ahead and brush it in. So enjoy this time lapse. It's hot, very hot, but I did about 20 minutes probably about brushing this blind in, somewhere in there, 20 minutes I'd have to guess, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. I could do better if I wanted to, but it's 85 degrees, and you guys will get the gist that you guys can really do a lot to make a blind go from pretty noticeable to pretty not noticeable when you do a little bit of brushing in, use some of your, you know, natural, you know, forage around you that you have, you know, fallen trees, you know, maybe cutting some grass. If you're on public land, I don't know what the state laws are for wherever you're at, so disclaimer, read up on being able to cut stuff on public land to make a blind or whatever it is. Most states don't like that, or don't allow it, not like don't allow it, and but here's the blind anyway. You guys can see it has been, it is looking a lot better. See how much of that shape is broken up? Like you can just kind of see panels in there, but just overall, and the further you get back, obviously the better it looks. We're only about 5 feet from it right now, but I could maybe get a little more in that corner right there, you know, right there, put a little bit more there, put a little bit more there, but I'll back up so you guys can see it. But that's how you brush in a blind pretty good, and I'll show you guys from a distance. So the blind is actually in frame. You can see it right there to the right, but if I'm coming from where I'm expecting deer, look how well this blends in, and I'll even zoom in on it. But there's a zoom out. You can see that it blends in very well to those bushes. You just use those shadows to your advantage, just brush it in really well. I'll show you guys a couple more angles so you can see what it looks like. So my blind is right in front of you guys, and we're only, I don't know, maybe 20, 25 yards, but look how you can't really see it, and then when you zoom in and get closer and closer, you see more of it start to come out. And here's a zoom out. That's how you brush in the blind right there. That's what it should look like. Once again, the blind is right in front of you guys. You can't even see it because it's brushed in so well. The more I zoom in, the more it becomes visible. But look at that. That is blending in very well. Very well. I could even do better than that if I wanted to, but I don't need to. So now that we're a little bit closer to the blind, I'm just going to show you guys kind of how you're supposed to do this. So if you see this blind, like I mentioned earlier, has these loops. What you want to do is go around where you're going to set up the blind and pick out stuff that's fallen, dead, that's easily to be able to grab, just, and mix and match it. You don't want to do all hardwoods. Let me get you a little bit better lighting there for you guys. You don't want to do all hardwoods. Like I don't want to do just all branches. You see I mixed it up with some grasses right there. You just got to mix it up. That way, you know, you just want to make it as abstract as you can. You know, you just want to break up that outline of that blind. You know, they're boxy. They do have camo that looks very well, like this blind does, but you just want to break that up as much as you can to the way that figure is. You know, a deer sees two-dimensional, so they see everything on a flat surface. It's not 3D. That's when you look at a deer and you see them bobbing their head looking up and down at you or whatever they're looking at. They're actually trying to get depth perception on what they're actually looking at. So the more you can eliminate that, the better your odds are of being able to get that deer close in the range and possibly getting a shot at taking a trophy. So I just want to show you that. We'll go inside and I'll show you guys a couple more tips. Look how wet my hair is from sweating. It's like 85 degrees, 90 degrees with a lot of humidity. I am wearing jeans because I knew I was going to be, you know, kind of working, getting pretty sweaty when I was doing this, but I was super excited to set it up and I didn't want to wait. And I know you guys are going to need as much information as you guys can get before bow season. So now we're in the blind. Now what do? You have it brushed in. You have more, I won't say homework, but you have more work to do once you actually get it brushed in. So if you look at this window, you see I have this pretty cognizantly, you know, strategically placed. You can see I don't have a lot of branches coming in. I have one here. But what you want to do is come in here and, you know, create shooting spaces for your bow and for your arrow to clear. So you see this is kind of in the way. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that and push that down just a little bit. Now I can shoot through that gap. Look over there, that's not really too much of a concern. Deer pop out at anywhere, so I would kind of want to move that down just a little bit. So what I would do is I just kind of push that down a little bit off to the side a little bit more. So now if you look, we still have all that, you know, you can see that breaking up the pattern on the outside, but we can shoot through clear on the inside. We'll go ahead and open up this door at this clip here, slide this down, slide that down. Kind of see we have some stuff hanging down in view, but we can still shoot out. So what we'll do is we'll just lift this up just a little bit, kind of fix that. Sometimes you have to pull some stuff out when you're doing this if it's in the way too much. Like see that grass is in the way. Yeah, we'll just remove that chunk of grass because I don't like the way that that's sitting. Put that up in top, move that root, and now if you look, we still have all that stuff breaking up the outline, but we can still shoot out completely clear. Do the same thing to this side. We would just kind of move some of this stuff out of the way a little bit to where we have a little bit better shooting opportunity. Maybe push this off to the side just a little bit. But now as you look, we have clear shooting opportunities through each side. Got to move this over just a little bit, just like that. And now you're pretty much golden. Might want to move this stick just a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Now if you look, I can hold my hand out there and I can shoot around pretty much anywhere on any one of these sides and not get my shot ruined by an arrow or by a stick or anything. So that's kind of what you guys want to do. Just brushing your blinds. I can't stress that enough. Get a blind that does have those straps, and that's, I don't want to say that's a prerequisite for me, But I'm going to say it, it's a prerequisite for me to buy a blind. I'm not even going to think about purchasing a blind if it doesn't have those straps in order to brush in your blind. You know, one thing that I've noticed throughout my, hunting career, so to speak, is that I think deer notice blinds a lot more than turkeys. And I don't know why that is. You can get away with literal murder with in a blind with a turkey. But deer, they kind of take some time to kind of get used to it. They kind of, unless you brush it in really well like we just did, but they kind of notice that a little bit more, which is kind of crazy because their eyesight and their hearing isn't as good. Hearing doesn't really play into setting it up, but their sight is not nearly as good as a turkey's. But I think you just have to really brush in your blinds, mind your P's and Q's. You notice that I put this in the shade, and it does pretty well. So before I actually leave the blind, I want to show you guys this door design. If you're like me, you've hunted out of a blind quite a bit. On those really brisk cold mornings, I'm talking like where it's like 30 degrees and everything is like stepping on a bag of chips because there's no noise and it's super cold. And you're trying to open up a zipper for a blind door or Velcro and it just sounds like an absolute freight train going through the middle of the timber. This is probably going to be a problem solver for you guys. So here's the door. You see they have 1, 2, 3, 4 magnets. So what you can do, and it has this little clip here, just go boop, and listen how quiet this is too. And your door is open and you're good to get out. So that's also another thing that I like about this a lot. This blind is stupid easy to take down and set up. We have it set up here. We're going to take it down just like this. Take your hand, pop, 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 pop. And now you're ready to wrap it up in itself, put it in the bag, and you're good to go. So I just got done reviewing the Tidewe blind. I am going to show you guys the camo, but I think I'm going to show you guys in a different video just to do it more justice. I didn't want to put it at the end of this video. I'll probably do that review when I'm doing my scent control. So with that being said, if you guys are interested, go check out Tidewe. I'll leave a link down in the description so you guys can check them out. If you got value out of today's video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.